Now, my DigiPeeps, if you have not seen this one coming, then you are clearly not a subscriber to my channel. The Batman was a movie I saw on the best weekend I can remember having, and it was all the more special because I saw it with my family who are living in another state. It was such an amazing day. I had a great time, and even though this movie was one of the many things we did on our Boys' Day, I could not help but have my review brain active and keep some very important key points in the back of my mind that I am looking forward to discussing with all of you now. I do not doubt that my thoughts may be a little controversial given the praise for this movie, but they are mine and I am more than happy to share them with anyone who wants to listen to my videos. If you have not guessed, by the way, spoilers are coming, so please make sure you have watched the Batman film before watching this review. Okay, so to start out with, let me say I loved this movie. It was good. No, it was great. And then when the inevitable sequel comes out, I am going to be first in line to get my tickets. However, I have seen countless 5 out of 5 star reviews, 10 out of 10, best movie of 2022, a perfect movie from top to bottom. I loved the movie, I did. However, a perfect movie, best movie of 2022, I want to see the rest of the year play out to see what we get in regards to films, but as far as movies go, this was not as untouchable as they are claiming. Allow me to explain. Batman to me has always been someone that people mistake for a myth or a legend, a force of nature, and I have heard some people claim that he has superpowers. Now, that is my Batman. This was not that Batman. He was gritty and young and raw, and there is nothing wrong with that. I really enjoyed that take on him. The problem with my Batman is he truly feels like he is unbeatable. Robert Pattinson's Batman felt like he could be bested in a fight. He felt like he could die. It made for more gripping moments where I was wondering if he was going to get back up. The man got punched and actually took bullets head on. His armor held up amazingly and made for some pretty awesome scenes. Furthermore, his suit felt like it was that of a young Batman. His body armor, for instance. Something that he utilized to full effect. His gauntlets had a taser type deal on it if he was having real trouble and needed to knock out a guy with a gun, for example. Even the bat symbol on his chest. There were scenes where he either took off the left or right sections, or even the whole thing to use as a cutting tool. That one bat on his chest replaced his batarangs, which were to my knowledge not seen in this movie. The Batman though, the man he would become later on in his career, was there. To date, this movie had my most favourite hero introductions of Bruce Wayne narrating over the film, saying how fear is a tool and that the criminals believe Batman not just to use the shadows, but he is the shadows. Watching criminals look to the sky to see the bat signal, then look down to the shadows closest to them, expecting to see the Batman methodically come out towards them, I got chills myself. Then, when he did come out for a fight that they had in the trailer where he beats down a thug and pounds his head into the ground before calling himself Vengeance, again, my favourite opening scenes to a hero's introduction I have seen in a long time. There were two very important things to take away from that scene. Batman referring to himself as Vengeance, and that he believes himself to be the shadows in Gotham. These were themes that were utilised throughout the whole film, as well as one other important aspect to Batman, the detective. Again, something we learned from the trailers was that of the villain for this movie being the Riddler, a character that I loved the look of. I loved his demeanour. A 21st century take on one of Batman's smartest members of his rogues gallery, and that was very evident with Paul Dano's version. This creepy, very controlling, smartest man in the room. He knows each step before it is taken. Hell, he orchestrates some of those very steps he needs in order to complete his ultimate plan. Batman had his hands full with this very dangerous Gothamite in this film. If that was not enough, he also had the additional problem with that of Selina Kyle, aka Catwoman. another Gothamite who knew how to play the city to her advantage and who was hiding some of her own secrets that even Batman was not privy to. Working with her turns out to be a bigger problem for Bruce than he initially intended. His desire to help save Gotham is not shared by everyone. That is not to say that it is not shared by some, and that is where we get Jim Gordon, a young police officer who has put his trust in Batman despite the objections of the GCPD. At the end of the day, Batman is a vigilante, but Jim knows what we all do, that there is nothing the Batman will not do in order to help Gotham. One final man who offers Bruce support in this film is his butler Alfred. Now, I truly loved Andy Serkis in this role, a man who knows he cannot control Bruce and his actions, but he can help. He also felt like Bruce's last link to the real world. He reminds him every day that he is a Wayne and that he has responsibilities outside beating up criminals every night. All these people working together in this movie was great. Each actor played off Robert so well, despite him being in or out of the costume. All of these people who helped him take on the likes of Oswald Cobblepot and Carmine Falcone. These two served as perfect criminals for a young Batman. No powers, no abilities, just men who have learned how to work the city and have their slice of the criminal pie with little to no repercussions. These two also came off as the smartest men in the room, who knew things that would not just undo them, but the house of cards that Gotham now finds itself built on. Information that the Riddler knows and is just looking to be that one gust of wind to blow it all down. Again, the way he treats people and uses them so he can play out his plans was truly a stroke of genius paired with pure evil. Batman always seems that one step behind when it comes to stopping this madman who believes that he is actually working with the Batman. There is two more characters that I am missing. First one is Gotham City itself. When I say that this city fit the description of Gotham to a T, everything you believe the city to be, this version fit the bill. A gothic looking old city that is being held together by corruption and greed. A place that is always raining and never seems to have a dawn, just nightfall. This was a perfect version of the infamous city, if you ask me. Next would be the Batmobile. This car was incredible. Not the sleek-looking armoured sports car that Batman shapes into his ultimate tool for traversing the city. Just a muscle car Bruce has chopped up and changed to suit his needs. A custom build that was more for function than looks. I really loved any time this beast was on screen. This movie had some great moments. I loved Selina constantly calling Batman vengeance. She thought he was a like-minded individual who would kill those who meant the city harm. I loved the detective side to Batman on display in this movie. It is always good to remind the people that this skill is just as important as his martial arts or Bat-themed tools and vehicles that make him an effective hero. Then there was the final fight. To see that the Riddler had inspired others to take up his fight in taking out the important pillars of Gotham to see it collapse. Batman was fighting more than these criminals like Oswald and Carmine with public faces. He was fighting an ideology of other members of his city. That was a blow to the man, I am sure. And then when he injected himself with adrenaline, definitely something you would feel Batman have on his person for emergencies. When he got up and he pounds a Riddler follower, it was scary, man. Imagine giving a bull a shot of adrenaline. The thing would not stop until you were mincemeat. That was what this scene was like. If it was not for Jim, I truly believe that he would have kept on pounding on this guy until he was dead. Then, the worst part was that, despite failing to kill Bruce Wayne for obvious reasons, the candidate for mayor, Bella Real, Riddler's ultimate plan played out almost perfectly. He set off a number of bombs that flooded Gotham City. Yet here was one of the most important full circle scenes in the film for me. All throughout the film, Bruce calls Batman the Shadows. That the man is a myth and is everywhere. He is literal darkness. Yet when Gotham floods, he comes down to help the first group of people he sees trapped under debris. He pulls out a flare and assists these Gothamites in escaping. The Batman holds out his flare as he escorts these people to safety. The visual of him being an actual light for the citizens. I think that was the moment Bruce realised that the Batman inspires more hope than he realised. Even when he was on the ground helping people to get medical attention. I think it is the first time I saw Gotham in actual daybreak, and no more rain too. Even though the city was taken down a dark path and almost destroyed, the citizens, including Batman, were working towards something better. Now, that was where we left the film, which was a very nice and hopeful path for Gotham to be on. Batman is whatever Gotham needs him to be. And we also get some teasers of people rising up through all the chaos, like Penguin and even the Joker, which was an unexpected but great tease for what was yet to come for our young hero. Overall, the movie was great. As I said, I cannot wait for some follow-ups to this film, an inevitable sequel, and this GCPD TV series that they supposedly have in the works. I even saw that there is a Penguin series, greenlit, which I think will be amazing. He was a character I really enjoyed from the film. Colin Farrell did an incredible job. The scenes he shared with Batman were hands down my absolute favourite from any Batman movie. Now, those were the things that I enjoyed. There were also things that I really didn't enjoy. Bruce Wayne being a full-on emo, wearing sunglasses all the time, and his hair was not doing it for me. He was not the best looking Bruce Wayne in my opinion. I was also not a fan of John Turturro as Carmine Falcone. He played the role well. I am not saying it was a bad performance. I just look at Colin Farrell as a Penguin, and he looked amazing with the makeup. I heard he went to a coffee shop with all of it on and not a single person recognised him. They were just all intimidated. Then I look at this unassuming, rather skinny man who is supposed to be the man who runs Gotham, and he doesn't even look like he could run a bath. Small, minor things that I can look past, however, to give this movie a very firm and passionate pass in my books. I highly recommend you seeing this movie because you won't be sorry. And there we have it. Now, I was trying to keep some points out of this film review and not spoil all of it. Mark my words that this review is only scratching the surface of some of the best moments of the Batman. I encourage anyone to post in the comments if you want to talk about it with me. I would truly love to. Also, I invite you to consider subscribing because I am truly having a blast with all of these videos. I hope you all enjoyed this review, and as always, I will catch you all in the next one.